razor is just a small blade. That is what most people think. But this little object helped shape how men should look, how women should feel, how soldiers should live, and how companies could make people buy the same thing again and again. Here is the shocking part. Shaving standards did not change because people simply wanted smooth skin. They changed because culture, war, and business pushed them. In this story, we travel from sharp stones and dangerous steel to bathroom mirrors and billion-dollar brands. We will see how shaving became a sign of order, self-control, beauty, and even respect. We will meet one man holding a blade close to his throat in the early morning light. We will watch one company turn shaving from an occasional risk into a daily habit. And then we will see why, even today, millions of people keep buying replacement blades without thinking twice. So ask yourself, was the razor invented to remove hair or to create a habit? Chapter 1. Origin. Imagine a cold morning thousands of years ago. No bright bathroom, no hot running water, only a polished stone, a piece of shell, or a sharp metal edge. A man bends over water and looks at his reflection. His face is rough. His beard is thick. He starts scraping. This is not comfort. This is survival, status, and ritual. The earliest razors were simple: sharp stone, then copper, then bronze. Later, iron and steel. People shaved for many reasons: cleanliness, religion, social rules, power. In some places, a beard meant wisdom. In others, a shaved face meant order. That is where the razor begins, not as fashion alone, but as a symbol. In ancient Egypt, for example, body hair was often linked to heat, dirt, and disorder. In other cultures, rulers wore special beards or removed hair to show class. So the razor was already doing something bigger than shaving. It was helping people perform identity. And identity is never neutral. It tells the world who you are, or who you are trying to become. But here is the twist. For most of history, shaving was not easy. It was dangerous, slow, personal. A mistake could leave a deep cut. Infection was a real threat. So many people did not shave every day. The razor existed, yes, but daily shaving was not normal for most people. Now picture one small scene. A man in the 1700s stands near a window for better light. He opens a straight razor. The blade is long, thin, and beautiful, also deadly. He pulls the skin of his cheek tight. His hand must stay calm. One wrong move and blood runs down his neck. He is not doing a simple morning task. He is performing discipline. That older blade demanded skill. It separated the trained from the careless. In a strange way, shaving became a test of control. Hands steady, breath slow, face still. And that idea would stay with razors for centuries. Because the razor was never only about hair. It was about behavior. But the story gets bigger, much bigger. Chapter 2. The Rise. Then came the Industrial Age. Steel improved. Factories grew. Cities expanded. Mirrors became more common. Time became measured. Morning routines became tighter. And the razor moved from ritual to routine. But there was still one problem. Straight razors were risky. You had to sharpen them, clean them, and learn them. Many men still went to barbers because shaving yourself was not simple. That meant shaving was regular for some, but not yet a universal daily habit. Then one company saw the future, not just a better blade, a better system. At the end of the 19th century and the start of the 20th, companies began selling safety razors. The idea was powerful: protect the skin, guide the blade, reduce the danger. Suddenly, shaving at home felt possible for ordinary people. This changed everything. Here is the second mini-story. A businessman looks at the old straight razor and sees a problem. Too much skill, too much time, too much fear. So his company creates a safer razor with a replaceable blade. The message is simple. You do not need to be an expert. You can shave at home, quickly, cleanly, every day. And with that one move, the bathroom became a place of daily discipline. That was genius. Not because the blade was sharp, because the habit was sharper. A safer razor did more than protect faces. It trained behavior. Men could now shave before work, before church, before meetings, before dates. A smooth face started to mean neatness, modernity, and self-respect. Then ads pushed the message harder. A clean-shaven man looked reliable, professional, ready, civilized. Notice the trick? The product was small, but the meaning was huge, and companies learned an even smarter lesson. Do not sell one blade once, sell the handle once, and the blades forever. That repeated purchase model was brilliant. A person could buy the main tool, then keep coming back for refills. Again and again. A simple need became a cycle. Use, dull, replace, repeat. This was not just manufacturing, this was behavior design. And once a business can enter your morning routine, it becomes very hard to remove. But hold on, the razor was not done changing society. War was coming. And war would take a private habit and turn it into mass pressure. Chapter 3. The Dark Turn. War does not usually make people think about shaving, but it should. When modern armies needed soldiers to wear gas masks, facial hair became a problem. A beard could break the seal. A bad seal could mean poison enters the lungs. That is not style. That is life and death. So millions of men were pushed toward shaving, not by fashion first, but by military need. Think about that. A blade in the bathroom was now connected to the battlefield. Young men entered military life and learned strict routines. Wake up, dress fast, follow orders, shave. Again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. For many, shaving stopped being optional. It became part of discipline itself. Here is the darker truth. Once war trains a generation, that behavior often returns home with them. A man who shaved daily in uniform often kept shaving daily as a civilian. Employers liked the look. Society respected it. Media repeated it. Soon the clean-shaven face did not just signal obedience in the army. It signaled responsibility in normal life. Can you see the machine forming? War creates habit. Culture rewards habit. Business sells the tool for habit. That is how standards become normal. But there is more. The clean face also became tied to masculinity in a new way. Not wild masculinity, controlled masculinity. The modern man was supposed to be trimmed, managed, organized. Strong, yes, but also presentable. The razor helped build that image, and images can become cages. What happens when a society tells men that a natural face looks lazy, messy, or unprofessional? A simple blade starts policing identity. But wait, the razor was about to cross another line. Not just men, women too. Chapter 4. The world changes. At first, many razor companies focused on men. That made sense. Men were the obvious market. Then advertisers asked a ruthless question. What if half the population is still not buying enough blades? So they created a new problem, and then they sold the solution. In the 20th century, as fashion changed and more skin appeared in public, ads began telling women that visible body hair was embarrassing, old-fashioned, or unattractive. Underarms, legs, areas that had not always been treated as urgent problems were suddenly framed as flaws. This was not nature speaking. This was messaging. This was market creation. A woman opens a magazine. She sees a smiling model with smooth skin and a message that quietly says, "Modern women remove this hair, not because they must, because they should. And if they should, then they must buy the product." That is how beauty standards can be built. Step by step, image by image, fear by fear. The razor had already shaped male discipline. Now it was shaping female beauty expectations too. And once again, the genius of the business model appeared. Hair grows back, the need returns. The product must be purchased again. So the razor was not just selling change, it was selling maintenance, a forever task. Who benefits most from a problem that never fully disappears? The company. This is the hidden power of the razor story. It shows how products can create emotional pressure. You are not only buying metal, you are buying relief. Relief from judgment, relief from shame, relief from the fear of looking wrong. That is why the razor matters more than it seems. It sits quietly in a drawer, but it carries the weight of culture. And just when it seems like this system is complete, the modern world arrives and makes the story even stranger. Chapter 5. Today's surprise. Now we come to the present. You would think the razor story is old, finished, solved. It is not. Today people talk about self-care, freedom, grooming, identity, and choice. Bearded styles return. Some people stop shaving. Some shave more than ever. Some reject old beauty rules. Others follow them with even greater intensity online. And still, the repeated purchase model survives. maybe stronger than ever. Here is the third mini story. A modern person stands in a supermarket or scrolls online. They already own the razor handle. That part was cheap, or even free in a starter kit. But now the replacement pack costs much more than expected. They pause for 1 second, then buy it anyway. Why? Because tomorrow morning still exists. The habit is already built. That is the real product, not the blade, the routine. Subscription boxes made this even smoother. Blades arrive at your door. No need to think. No need to compare. Convenience locks the cycle in place. And modern branding adds new language. Precision, confidence, freshness, performance, skincare, personal expression. Same logic. New packaging. Look closer, and the razor is almost a perfect business object. It is small. It feels necessary. It wears out. It connects to identity. And it invites upgrades. 1 blade, 3 blades, 5 blades. Better grip, better strip. Better comfort, better future. That is the promise. But is it really about improvement, or about keeping the buying loop alive? Here is the surprise. The history of the razor is not really the history of shaving. It is the history of how culture enters the body, how war enters the bathroom, how business enters habit, and how ordinary people slowly begin to treat repeated behavior as personal choice, even when that choice was heavily shaped long before they were born. That does not mean no one truly chooses. Of course they do. People shave for comfort, style, work, religion, pleasure, identity, or simple preference. But the deeper question remains, which parts are choice and which parts were taught? That is why the razor is such a powerful object for documentary history. It looks small, it looks boring, it looks normal, yet inside it we find danger, control, beauty, capitalism, gender, modern routine, and one of the smartest repeated purchase systems ever built. Not bad for a blade that fits in one hand. Ending. So the next time you pick up a razor, pause for 1 second. You are not just holding a tool. You are holding thousands of years of status, fear, war, beauty, discipline, and business strategy. A blade taught men to control their faces. It taught women to question their skin. It helped armies enforce order. And it taught companies how to turn a daily habit into endless repeat sales. That is the secret history of the razor. A tiny object, agent influence. And maybe the strangest part is this. Most of us never notice the story at all. So which secret history should we uncover next? The secret history of nail clippers? Or the secret history of hand sanitizer? Write your choice in the comments and step carefully the next time a simple object enters your hand.